On today's episode of The Gate, we wrap up finals with a trip to the movies. We'll talk to Professor Peter Carlos about the student experience, working on film sets, and the effort that goes into making movies for the big screen. We also talk with Lindenwood Dining Services and take a look at their hot cocoa and coffee bar with finals just around the corner. Plus, we speak with Regional Sales Director Patrick Patel about the shelter and relief his team provides during severe storms and winter weather. Welcome to The Gate. I'm Jack Bueller. Making movies at Lindenwood University is a challenge that our cinema art students take on as their final projects for the year. From writing, shooting, and finally editing the results, students learn creative problem solving and real-world skills for production. Here is cinema arts professor Peter Carlos talking about the capstone course for our graduating students.
Capstone is a final film that students do to show what they know. That they've gone through the program, now they're doing a final film, and it's kind of a big deal, for students. So we show that the last week of school and have a big premiere and whatever. And they're usually about 10 or 15 minutes long. It's a lot of work. They spend the whole semester producing it, maybe the semester before writing it, planning it. But it's stressful. It's very stressful to put it all together, to coordinate a crew, to find locations, to cast it, to put it together that it makes sense and it's a great story.
That is a wrap on the Oak Park Close. That's a wrap on live.
This year, there are 10 short films from the short film class, 5 from the capstone course, and 5 from the master's students in the gradstone course. That's 20 movies that you get to watch over 3 screenings. Come to support your fellow students in their final films. The short film screenings are on Tuesday, December 9th from 2 till 4:30 in the Scheidegger Center, room 2275. The same day, the gradstones in the Lark Theater around 7 p.m. And finally, capstone screenings are Wednesday, December 10th at 7 p.m., also in Scheidegger in the main theater. Coming up after the break, we talk with members of the Lions Dining Service and find out what they're all up to over at the Lark Building here on campus.
When it comes to something as important as a job in broadcasting or in job, whatever you're searching for, Lindenwood puts that emphasis in you rather than just the education. So take advantage of it and be like a ton of alum that walked out of Lindenwood that were proud to be a Lion.
Welcome back to The Gate. Finals are just around the corner. With the added stress on some students, the Lion Dining Service team are setting up for a cold and stressful part of the semester.
I'm Jana. I'm the marketing manager of Dining Services. We are doing a coffee and hot cocoa bar for the students for finals week. So we're set up, I call it warm up for finals, and we have all kinds of different candies, cookies, syrups, and everything for the students to add to their hot chocolate or coffee with a wintry theme.
I'm Katie. I'm a master's student here at Lindenwood. I'm studying fashion business and entrepreneurship. So clearly my major might not be completely related to the job that I have on campus, but I was really looking for some business related or marketing related positions on campus where I can learn more about real life experience in marketing. And the best place to start for me was to be a marketing intern here on campus, working for Lindenwood and Sodexo.
Back in October, we've done decorated the dessert bar and did all kinds of Halloween desserts. We did a Boo Brew bar where we did a spooky, dirty soda theme bar. We did some stuff for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Part of my background is I also was a cake and cookie decorator, so I brought my skill set and I did a cupcake decorating class, fall themed for the students in October. So we're just always trying to come up with these different creative ideas to add to the student experience.
Okay.
We're doing late night breakfast. I think this is a student favorite, but I know we're doing a late night breakfast at Evans where students will come late night, have breakfast, and they have a whole kind of Nickelodeon, Disney, 2010 nostalgia throwback theme. So we'll be part of that too. We're actually going to do another hot cocoa bar, and I'm going to bring a little Nickelodeon throwback spin to it. So yeah, so being in dining services, like it's part of our job to do these different events for the students. And I think because students do keep to themselves, they're scared to come to the table, but I just want them to know that they're always welcome to come forward when they see our smiling faces and they see us doing these things. Like, we're here to do these things for them. And yeah, I want them to come up and enjoy the experiences we're trying to give them.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that whenever you see a table, that when we're doing something for different events, it's always like a lot of thought and time and planning behind it. So it just shows how much we care about students. I mean, I'm also a student, so I think it's a great perspective when I try to see everything from a student perspective, see what students need, what make them happy, especially both for American and also international students. And we can like brainstorm and come up with ideas and do different events that's gonna make students, help students have a better experience on campus, specifically in the dining.
Knowing that they're like those little surprises are for them around the corner. Like, I just think having this set up for them and them walking in, their eyes kind of lighting up like, oh, what is this? We have the lights, we have the holiday feel, and it's just like that extra little treat for them. Just to know that like during finals, like we're here for them to support them, and we want to just, you know, add something a little extra for their studying. Just capturing those different like trends and stuff and creating those experiences that just add to the students' experience here at college.
If you're interested in taking advantage of another event that Dining Services puts on, come to the late night breakfast on Monday, December 8th at the Evans Commons, starting at 9:15 p.m. and running through midnight. At the breakfast, Dining Services and the campus activities boards will have plenty to enjoy, including a night full of food, games, prizes, and unforgettable throwback fun. Come hang out with your friends and classmates and enjoy some late night breakfast before the stress of finals kicks in. Coming up after the break, we talk to Regional Sales Director Patrick Patel, who works with SLSCO to help families affected by severe storms.
The College of Arts and Humanities at Lindenwood University truly is the best. Real experience, real success is something that I still use to this day when talking about Lindenwood.
Welcome back to The Gate. I am Disha Kayas. Today we are speaking with Patrick Patel, our Regional Sales Director at DoubleTree by Hilton. Patrick recently collaborated with SLSCO, an organization that works to provide shelter and support to families and individuals affected by severe storms and harsh winter weather. Patrick is here to talk about this important work and how it's helping the community during these challenging times. Thank you so much for joining us today, Patrick. We really appreciate you taking time to speak with us. To start off, can you briefly explain the impact the recent storm had on St. Louis community and how your organization decided to get involved?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. Yeah, I mean, the storm happened in roughly around mid-June in 2025. And I think this was the worst storm the city has seen since, I would say, around since 70s. And storm was a really bad storm. It was one of the worst in the country. So what happened was back in month of June when the storm happened, there were lots of people, they lost their houses, not just them, like the businesses, because it was pretty bad, especially around the downtown area. And back then we started getting lots of business from Red Cross. So Red Cross, basically, they would go out there and try to help out people, especially in disaster conditions. And then after Red Cross left, there is another company that came into picture where they were gonna give them a new houses. They'll have to build new houses because these are like the old houses, right? So that company has to make sure that they will have to find a places where these people can go and stay, because it's gonna be one of the worst winter that we'll be facing this year. And at my end, I totally understand one thing is that the industry we are running has a lot to do with the community, because it's the same people who will travel into your hotels and all. And we try to do certain things for our community, like we run our own food bank. We got multiple hotels. We do that part. And since we knew like Red Cross, they got in touch with SLS, the company that is I'm working with currently. And they reached out to us and they said, see if we can help them out, because they are like roughly 1,500 families that would need help. And I think it's always good to help the community at them.
So you work with like multiple companies who help people?
Correct, that's right.
Okay. So what does the current relief project look like?
Okay, so it's a big project. Like it has like different departments. Like the SLS is the construction company. So what they have to do is like they cannot just come down and start constructing things, right? First of all, they'll have to find a place where all these people can go and stay. So that's where we come into the picture, where they have to make sure that they have a place, like a roof. And on top of that, they have to make sure their food is there, the food is taken care of, people who are having issues with their health, their medical is taken care of. And then on top of that, people who are having kids, or the kids that are really young, their necessary things, those are the things that SLS is taking care of. So what happens is we would provide them the facility, and on top of that, they will have to hire too many people from around the community just to make sure so they can help out the people who have been displaced from their houses. And it's a huge project, because once they're out of the picture, like once they're out of their houses, they have to go and build their house. So for them, it's the other department that we don't work with, but we only work with the people who are displacing them from their houses as of now.
Okay, and how many families or individuals you have been able to help so far?
So far it has been only 40 families, because city is
families.
involved, and what happens is they get their funds from city. So they're still waiting for the fund, but once they'll have their fund, there can be roughly 1,500 families.
Okay, and what criteria do you see to determine who will receive this temporary housing facilities from you guys?
Okay, again, like we don't have any criteria, we just provide the hotels. The criteria are decided by the city, the mayor and FEMA, and they are the one who would decide like who will get the housing.
So have you heard any personal stories from a displaced residents or someone who is like impacted by this storm, like any personal stories?
I mean, tons, to be honest, especially the elderly couples, because they have their families living in the city area from generations, and now, especially due to this the storm, they lost their house, right? So they have their memories, like they talk about how they grew up in their house and that house is gone, and their challenges because they are in their 80s and 90s, how tough it is for them to move out because they don't have like their own vehicles. That's why they are getting these houses. So they have to rely on others so they can take them to the hospital or for their food. So that is pretty challenging because even the company that is working in city, which is from Texas, so they have to hire people from here. And like when you have 1,500 families, that's roughly give and take 6,000-7,000 people. And not just them, like there are people who are with the kids having issues as well.
Okay, and what is the biggest challenge to like provide emergency housing during like winter time?
Yeah, it's a big challenge because when the city is involved and the other departments are involved, so you're kind of the decision that you have to make, you have to wait for the city, right? So once city will release like, okay, you have this 100 people and they'll need a room, right? That's when you can go and accommodate them. But if city is not sure like how it's gonna be, because even they have to find out who is eligible or not. And this happens in a pretty short period of time. So your team is always working on it. Like let's say if they've decided to send 100 people to your hotel, you need at least 4 of your team members to make sure that they can check in within an hour because no one would like to wait.
Yeah, so as you mentioned that it's like very short period of time, you get like very less time to like accommodate like hundreds of people at a time. How is your staff responding to the situation? How do you like handle your staff member to like provide the best services?
See, that's the best part. Like I'm lucky and I would say I'm blessed to have a great staff because they live in city and they have this their city pride, and they are making sure, like, I don't have to tell them anything. They are making sure that these are the same people that got affected. Even there are some staff members, they got affected, so they know how it feels. So they're always like, I have half of my staff members, they would just come in just to help out as soon as I call them. So I think it's easy for me because my staff is pretty nice.
So, how long do you expect to continue offering temporary housing, and what comes next for these families? Like,
So here's the thing, like that call we don't make, but as of now, we'll be accommodating people till the end of March, depending on the weather. Because if weather is not still good, even in April, then of course we will have to think about it. And then again, at the end of the day, it's city's call how long they want to give them these rooms.
and how can the public or other organization support or partner with you to like this relief efforts?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a SLS company that works with them, and they're hiring and looking for people who can help them out. And then they have their information online, so you can always check it out.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today, Patrick. And that's it for this season of The Gate. We will see you next year. Thank you.